Aboro Aboye. Today I want to share a brief but very impactful lesson on what I call the Iwakbele epidemic, the Iwakbele outbreak, you know. And that's a sort of a contradictory little play on words, right? Because Iwa is said to be a good thing. Iwa is a favorable thing. It's something that brings really all good things into our lives. But an outbreak, an epidemic, suggests something that's an illness, an ailment, and I'm framing it up that way deliberately because the problem that I see is that we haven't really accurately defined Iwa, okay? And more specifically, what I am observing and hearing and dealing with people as I work with them is that Iwa is something that, like many concepts of Yoruba spirituality, something that since we don't have a really clear definition of what it is, we project our own ideas about it based on our previous experience. And our experience here in the United States has been primarily, Christian, right? African Americans have been Christian for a long time in the United States, and so we're using Iwa as code for Puritanism. Okay, we're using Iwa as a code for just virtue, the Ten Commandments, right? That's what we call Iwa. If you really sift through it and you see how people describe it and try to flesh it out, they're talking about the Ten Commandments. Okay, and I'm not saying that is not Iwa. I'm just saying if there are, let's just, there are 10 commandments. Well, really, there are about 10,000 commandments of Iwa. Okay, based on what? Based on Odu. Okay, there are infinite numbers, tens of thousands of verses of Ifa, each of which represents a tiny facet of reality that defines what is right behavior in that circumstance. The problem that I see is that we're taking one single motif and we're saying that this is what good character is all the time. And that's not consistent with Ifa. That's not consistent with Yoruba social psychology. It's just not. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this because you have to do what I'm saying that you do. I'm just saying that in order for you to have a real relationship to the practice, to have a real relationship to practitioners, to have a real relationship to the teachings and learn from them and carry out your life according to the principles and the instruction that is available, you got to have a realistic and accurate assessment of what you're dealing with. Now, this is important to me because one of the first verses of Ifa that I learned was really near and dear to me because it was something that almost verbatim my mother would teach me from small childhood all the way up, which was about being a man of character. Okay, now this particular verse of Ifa comes from the Holy Odu of Ogbialara, and in this verse, Oromila himself was married to Iwa. Now, Iwa was a person. Iwa wasn't virtuous. Iwa wasn't patient. Iwa wasn't like a model citizen. By any stretch of the imagination, she had a lot of strange and, in some regards, deplorable habits and ways of being. She was a difficult character. Okay, Oromila was very patient with her for a long time, but he got to the point where he just lost it and he kicked Iwa out. He threw Iwa out of his house because she was so intolerable. But when Iwa left, then Oromila's real problems began. He began to lose over and over and over and over and over again. And so he went to consult Ifa. Ifa says, you got to go and find Iwa. And then Oromila began his quest, visiting all of the 16 primordial kingdoms, trying to find Iwa. Okay? And that verse tells us in the end that Iwa, Lanwao, Iwa. Iwa is the one that we're searching for. Iwa. Iwa is the one that we're pursuing. Iwa. Okay? Now, therein lies the essence of Iwa. Iwa is not a static thing that you hold on to like a rock. Iwa is something that you pursue. Iwa is something that you develop and cultivate and become in carrying out your life's mission. As you visit the 16 primordial kingdoms in search of your essence and your way of being, you will, if you are truthful, if you are really open, if you are really trying, you will become one with Iwa. But it requires, on one side of the equation, exertion on your part. You got to get out there. You got to try. You got to travel. You got to visit different places and talk to different people. You got to fail many, many, many times. You have to go beyond where you think is far enough until you, become one with. It's the journey, not the destination. In other words, Iwa is the journey. So what I really want you to take away from this is that in order for you to really possess good character, you got to get out there and try. You got to try different things. You got to do different things. You got to put on different hats and subject yourself to different kinds of experiences. And a lot of that is going to bring out things in you that you don't know you have inside. Some of it is not going to be too favorable. Some of it's going to be ugly. Some of it's going to be repulsive. Some of it you're not going to want to really deal with. But it's only in, facing yourself, the fullness of yourself, not just the idea of yourself, but the real fullness of yourself in every different kind of circumstance. When you're vulnerable, when you're strong, when you have it, when you don't have it, when you're surrounded by good people, when you're all by yourself, when you're surrounded by wicked people, you've got to be able to demonstrate something. And that's how you discover yourself. And that is how you become someone who embodies Iwa. Aboru, aboye, aboshishe.